I'm very excited to have you guys here this evening because we're going to have an amazing conversation about marketing and gaining clarity on our message as small businesses. And one of the most challenging things that we often find ourselves up against as small business owners is how do we properly communicate what we do, who we serve, and what the impact of what we do is going to be on our market to our customers. And a lot of folks find themselves a bit perplexed as to why they're not able to make traction or create traction in the marketplace. And so today we're going to jump into some of those questions, and we're going to make sure that you guys are coming away with a very clear understanding of who you are and why you're important, why you matter in the marketplace. Okay. So I just want to give you guys some ground rules as we're getting started and set some expectations. This is going to be about 60 minutes, and we're going to break things down into a couple of phases. But first off, I would love for everyone to sign into the chat. If you're just coming in, sign into the chat by sharing your name, your business, your email with everyone. Even give a little blurb about who you are and what you do. One thing I think is really important for us as entrepreneurs is to stay connected. And even at workshops like this, where we're going to be learning, I think there's also an opportunity for us to connect and earn, right? There's a lot of business that can take place here. So make sure that you guys are doing that. Please make sure that you're in a quiet place where you can stay focused. We're going to be jumping into exercises. It's going to be important for you to be locked in to get the most out of this workshop. So make sure you're in a quiet place. And then please make sure to have something to take notes with. Okay, you can take notes on your phone, you can take notes on your laptop or a notepad, but make sure that you've got something to keep track of information. There's going to be a note-taking document that's shared in the group chat shortly for you to follow along when we get to the exercise and activity, but feel free to take notes in your own device. And then please be prepared to participate. I really appreciate everybody who shared and hearing about who you guys are and where you're from, but be prepared to participate, be prepared to get called on, and also connect with other people because we're going to be doing some interactive stuff here tonight, okay? And so just to level set real quick, the event is broken down into 3 sections, and we're going to be covering a lot tonight. It's going to be about 20 minutes of teaching, 20 minutes for our group activity, and then 20 minutes of Q&A. This workshop is interactive, so like I said, be prepared to engage at a minimum in the chat. And I also encourage you guys to stay through the end and participate because we've got something that we want to share with you guys at the end that's going to be really cool for folks that are in this group. And we're really trying to share a lot of value on Alignable and just bring as much to the table as possible to help you guys grow your businesses. So stay through to the end if you can. Okay. So let's get clear on our objectives. Okay. The first objective for today is we want to understand the importance of purpose and why it is essential for scale. The second objective is you guys are going to learn a 7-part purpose formula by answering a couple of questions. And then we are going to distill that work into a profitable purpose statement that's grounded in what makes you unique. And this statement is going to be something that's tangible for you to use in your marketing that's going to bring a significant amount of clarity into your marketing campaign. So if you guys are here today, that means you're a small business owner interested in improving the effectiveness of your marketing. Put a 1 in the chat if you agree. If you're here to improve your marketing, if there's improvements to make in your marketing, please put a 1 in the chat. I want to see where everybody is. Yes. And if you think you got your marketing all down pat and everything's good, put a 2 in the chat. It's cool if you do, because we need to have a conversation so we can do a joint workshop together and teach the masses. Okay. So if you're here, you want to improve the effectiveness of your marketing, right? And I also want you guys real quick, put your industry in the chat. I want to know where everybody is coming from. I heard we had a wedding officiant. We've got folks in AI. We've got folks that are doing business development, wedding. Yes. Go ahead and put your industry in the chat for me. I want to see where you guys are coming from. Oh, I see wellness industry, coaching, insurance, financial industry. retail, large building, wow, voice actor, travel industry, business development, Tawanda, excellent. So we've got, cooking, the Thai cooking class party, mortgage loan officer, service. Okay, excellent, excellent. So I see that we've got folks that are coming from every industry, which means that we've got a diverse group here tonight. You got a lot of representation across industries. And that's pretty cool, right? Because we're all here together. We're coming from different places, and yet we're here for the same reasons. We all want to effectively communicate our message to the right people so that we can generate more business, so that we can fill our sales pipeline and generate more revenue, which in turn allows us to do what? Improve cash flow, level up our operations, expand our business, and generate more profit and impact. And in this way, lead more fulfilling and purposeful lives. But there's a problem. Sadly, the vast majority of us of small businesses are struggling with this. How do we know? Well, the data tells us that 86% of small business owners are generating less than $100,000 per year. 86%. So when you look at those numbers and you start to deep dive a little bit, you realize that only 13% of small businesses are generating more than $100,000 in revenue per year. Furthermore, the vast majority of small businesses are run by only one person and have 0 employees. So the reality is most of us are running solopreneur operations, right? There's one person running the business. And what's even more chilling is that although 99% of all businesses in the United States are small, 65 to 80% of all small businesses fail within 5 years. And that to me is one of the most egregious statistics that I've read, because there's no reason for that. With all the abundance of information that's out there, with all the services and opportunities that are out there for businesses to grow, there's no reason for the failure rate to be this high. And what does this mean? It means that there's millions of failed businesses, millions of lives that have been altered as a result of that, millions of neighborhoods that have been affected, millions of possibilities that have been erased. And so the reason I approach the work from the perspective that I do is because I think that this is one of the greatest economic crises of our time. How do we ensure that small businesses thrive? How do we do that? Especially since this is true across all industries. Okay. So let's take a look at why. Why do small businesses fail? This is really important because it's going to set up the reason why we need to do this, what we're doing tonight. So the 3 most cited reasons for why small businesses fail are as follows. 1, lack of cash flow. That's always the number 1 problem that's cited. But then you see 2 other problems that often pop up. Lack of market demand. Not sure what that really means. And then poor planning and execution. Okay, what do we mean by that? So let's kind of like use our logic here and figure out, what is this data actually telling us? So if there's a lack of cash flow, that means there isn't any money coming in, or it means that your operating costs are exceeding revenue. So you've got a problem. That's bad. But the question is, why does that happen in the first place? Like, why are you struggling to generate revenue? Why are your operating expenses more than what you're bringing in? Like, why? Well, I would reckon if you look at the data, that it's because of the other 2, right? Either you're not making enough money because either A, the market doesn't want what you have to offer, right? Or B, the market doesn't understand what it is that you have to offer. And a lot of the reason why the market doesn't want what you have to offer is because of poor planning and execution. You haven't done your research. You haven't done your homework. And so your strategy isn't airtight. And the clarity that you need to bring to market in terms of what you do and the value that you bring to your customers, there needs to be some work that's done there. And that's why we're here today. Okay. But one thing I want to break down to you guys is like, what are the 3 main reasons why the market doesn't want what you have to offer? There are 3 reasons for that. The first reason is that there isn't a demand for what you have to offer. So your product or your service just isn't needed, right? The second reason is your product or service is just like everyone else's, so it's a commodity. And then the third reason is that your product or service is needed, but no one can figure out why. So there's this like inconsistent demand there because you haven't clarified your message and it's flopping in the marketplace. But from what I can tell, you guys are all important to the marketplace. And so if you're having challenges with your market, it's not because you're not needed. It's probably because there's something that we need to clarify. And what we have to understand as entrepreneurs is that marketing, good marketing, is really all about communication, communicating our value to the market. And a lot of us just don't know how to do that. And the reason we don't know how to do that is because we don't understand ourselves or our customers enough to connect with the market and make an impact. Okay. So I know a lot of us too are probably thinking, well, what does this mean for me? Right? I might be struggling with my marketing. And not only that, we're in tough times. There's high inflation, economic squeeze, fewer consumers are willing to part ways with their cash. So a lot of us have this dream of growing a small business, but we're running up against this marketing challenge. Okay. So now that we've kind of got all this context, right? We've got all this context as to what the challenge is, what our problems are, and what it is that we need to address. I'd like to formally introduce myself. My name is Christian Smotherman, and I'm the founder of Growth Loop. We're a business and technology company that helps small businesses engineer predictable growth in their business through strategy, storytelling, and systems. On this call, I've also got Brian Otoya, who is going to be in the chat helping you guys out, answering questions like I mentioned earlier. And he is our chief technology officer and is really, really engaged on the digital side of things and helping make sure that entrepreneurs understand the digital ecosystem as they're going to market. So personally, I have a background in creative writing and creative direction, and I found myself many years ago putting those skills to use in the startup world where I was helping dozens of organizations with brand strategy and marketing. Okay. But what I discovered through my work was that entrepreneurs are overwhelmed and overburdened most of the time. And oftentimes it's because there's a tsunami wave of demands that come with starting and growing a business. These individuals might be visionaries, like I'm sure you guys have vision, right? They have big ideas, but they tended to just wing it, right? Hoping that things would work out. And unfortunately, things don't really work out when you don't have the right plan. So after watching so many entrepreneurs struggle and then struggling myself when I broke into the market for the first time, I began to ask myself, why? Why in the world are so many entrepreneurs building businesses that fail to gain traction? What's the core of the problem? And I eventually concluded that it was this. They couldn't clearly articulate anything. It wasn't clear who they were. It wasn't clear who they served. It wasn't clear what was unique about them. It wasn't clear what their value was. It wasn't clear why they were essential to the market. And they weren't just another commodity. Nothing was clear. And so what happens when things are all fuzzy and unclear? Like what happens? Well,
Nothing.
Exactly. Nothing. And when it finally comes to do something, it doesn't work. When it finally comes to do the marketing, to have the sales call, to communicate to the market what it is you have to offer, it flops. Because what are you scaling in the marketplace when you're all over the place and you don't have clarity? You're scaling confusion. So a lot of us right now, we're scaling confusion with our marketing. We're communicating confusion through our marketing. We're communicating the fact that we're busy through our marketing. We're communicating the fact that we haven't done our homework through our marketing. And it's all subconscious. Because if you look into sales psychology at all and really take the time to understand consumers, you'll learn that most people are not making rational buying choices. It's a combination of reason and emotion. And I wouldn't say lack of reason. It's not irrational. It's non-rational, right? So it's emotion and a little bit of logic. So people are absorbing all the information that's coming to them. It's like they've got like a sensor on their head. And every little word that you say matters. Every little word that you say, they pick up on. Every little thing that you do, they pick up on, right? Every little thing. And so you've got to make sure that when it's time to actually have a conversation, when it's time to clearly articulate who you are and what you do, you're able to do that. And you're able to do it in a compelling way. Okay. So here's the punchline. Successful businesses that connect with and resonate with their market, do the opposite of scaling confusion. They scale clarity. And when they scale clarity, what happens? They create a sense of high expectation, predictability. Because when things are not clear, what happens? Everything is unpredictable. No one knows what to expect. No one knows if you can get consistent results. And it always feels like something is off. Because it is. Now, the flip side of this is running a business that actively scales clarity. These types of businesses have a crystal clear purpose, which means they know who they are. They know who they serve. They know the unique way that they provide the service and why they do it in the first place. And what this creates for them is they've got this powerful story of purpose that animates everything that they do. And this story of purpose brings their business to life, captivating, convincing, and converting customers at scale. So earlier, Donald was talking about building funnels, right? Making sure that customers have awareness about a business or a product. Well, what happens when they're in the middle of the funnel and the messaging is misaligned? What happens when you're pouring hundreds or thousands of dollars into ads and you're not saying the right things to get people to take action? You're wasting money. You create that challenge, right? Where now your operating expenses are exceeding your revenue. You're not getting an ROI on your activities. Why? Because we don't have clarity. So tonight, we're going to help you take a step in a new direction. If you haven't already, we're going to help you gain absolute clarity on your business's purpose so that you can supercharge your marketing efforts with a powerful message that will serve as the through line across every aspect of your business. And we're going to do this just by asking you guys a couple of questions, okay? A few simple questions. But before that, I want to just start off with a very short story just to give you guys some insight into where I learned this and just a little bit about me. I think that this is a funny story. So this is me and my family. As you can see, I was a goofball and I still kind of am a goofball here and there. But I want to tell you guys about how I started a candy business in high school way back in the day. I was 14 years old at the time, but I had been selling candy door to door for school fundraisers for almost a decade. I remember I would beg my mom to drive me all around the city. I'm like, Mommy, take me door to door. I want to sell this candy. I want to win the awards. And so she would do that. And we'd have the time of our lives riding around in her busted up minivan. Sorry, Mama. I got to be honest. But we'd be riding around, knocking on doors and selling candy. And I became really good at it. I became like a seasoned pro and I was winning prizes doing those fundraisers. So by the time I was 14, I was older. I wanted to buy things, right? I wanted to do stuff. So I was constantly thinking of ways to make money. And one day I had a bright idea. I was like, what if I just started my own business? I could sell the candy, keep the profit for myself, and boom, I'd be able to get whatever I wanted. And I felt like I stumbled upon the most brilliant idea ever. And for a low-income kid from the South, I think it was a pretty good idea. So what I did was I got my favorite teacher to invest in the business. I remember I went to her after class one day and I said, hey, I have this idea. I'm just looking for somebody to invest in it. And I think it'd be great. It's going to be called Smotherman Sweets, Gourmet Candy Treats. And the only thing I need is access to a product. I just need access to a connect. And I know you can get access because you're a teacher. And we used to do fundraisers. And I want those gourmet lollipops with those amazing flavors. That's what I want. I want you to try to get 500 of those for me, because when I start freshman year, I'm going to sell those and I'm going to start a business doing that. So I got her to invest in the product. And I remember I got these huge gourmet lollipops. She agreed. I got them in the mail. I remember opening them up and seeing all of them. And they were in all these different exotic packages and flavors. And there was cherry limeade and key lime pie and blue raspberry lemonade and strawberry cheesecake. And all I had to do was pay her back by the end of the year. So the company was born. And I made a killing my freshman year, like thousands of dollars. I made a killing literally from day one. I was selling out by the end of the day, like every day. And the demand was growing so fast. I ended up having other kids selling the candy for me. It was crazy. It was literally crazy. I had a book bag, and then I would have two other bags, one where I'd have the money, one where I have the product. I had a catalog. I remember coming home, dumping the money on the floor and counting it up. And my mom was just looking at me like I was crazy. She's like, what is this boy doing? What is going on here? But I remember I'd take all that money and I'd put it into my little tin box that I pretended was a safe. And I was building my candy empire. But the real question is, what did I learn from this experience? And what can we learn from this experience? And what does this have to do with our conversation today on purpose and effective marketing? Like, why does this matter? So we're going to find out. And there were 7 takeaways that I noticed as I was reflecting on my story for this workshop. I was thinking, like, this story keeps coming up as I'm putting this together. Like, why? And the first takeaway is I found something I was really passionate about. I woke up every day excited to sell candy and share the value of my product in the world. But not only that, my candy empire fueled my other passions by providing me with additional income to pursue things like graphic design. I got a pen tablet. I was able to get Photoshop, things that were really expensive back in the day. And I also got a couple of video games. The second takeaway is that I discovered I had a superpower. I was really good at selling products. I had the gift of gab, and I could weave narratives about customer experiences and certain flavors and provide recommendations on what to try next. I had the brochures, and I was even able to give my customers the option to request new flavors. I was the gourmet candy man. That's what they called me. And the third thing is I really understood my market. I've been studying them my whole life, and I learned in middle school that people went crazy for those lollipops. So by the time I got my investor to secure the product for me, I knew that I had a ready to buy market, and I knew who they were, high school students. The fourth is that I understood the problem my market had. Everyone wanted those candies from middle school. They remembered them, but there was nowhere to buy them. So I became the middleman. I solved a major gap in the market and had total control over it. Complete total control. The fifth takeaway is that I had the right product. But again, I knew I had the right product from the beginning because my product was a solution to a problem that no one else was solving in the marketplace. And I knew that I could get paid by solving it. The sixth takeaway is that I had a really easy process for my customers to acquire the product. I only took dollar bills. I kept my prices simple and low and straightforward. And I had an instant delivery process. You pay for the product, you receive it right then and there, right? You could only purchase from me in the mornings when school started or between classes. That way we'd never get in trouble. So I had a very good process. And then the last takeaway is I understood the value of my offer and I was confident in it because I knew that I was going to deliver every single time somebody bought it, right? You couldn't find my product anywhere else. Nothing tasted like that on the market. And every single time a kid bought a lollipop, their taste buds would explode, and they'd be coming back for more, asking me for different flavors. So I knew what I had. So what did this look like for me? Well, every day I woke up with clarity and purpose to serve my customers and grow my business at 14. At 14. Yeah, that was me, by the way. That was me. Yeah. Ellen was asking, is that you, Christian? Yeah, that's me. They used to say that I looked pretty as a little boy. I had a twin sister. Very, very, very unfortunate times. But anyway, every day I woke up with clarity and purpose to serve my customers and grow my business. Every single day at 14 years old. And what I learned at a very early age was that purpose doesn't happen by chance. It happens by choice. I think somebody's microphone is open, by the way. If you don't mind muting yourself. But purpose doesn't happen by chance. It happens by choice, right? It's a choice. We got to choose it. And so what I want to teach you guys today and what we're about to jump into for our activity is something called the purpose formula. And those takeaways that I just broke down for you guys give you insight into each section of that formula, right? So what is purpose? When you really break it down, purpose isn't just some idea. It's not just a feeling. It's not just, I wake up one day and my purpose is to be a Grammy Award winning artist. No, like that's not what we're saying here. We're saying purpose is actually a science. Purpose actually has dimension and shape and form, and we need to approach it strategically. So here's how we're going to do that. We're going to break it down into 7 components, and then we're going to translate that into our marketing message. First off, purpose is passion, what you're passionate about. It's the combination of that and your superpowers, what you're really, really freaking good at, like what your God-given gifts are. It's who you serve, but really your understanding of those people in that market. And then your understanding of their problems and their challenges in that market. And then it's the combination of all that and then the product, the solution, the service that you provide. We call that product, right? Even if you're a service provider, there's really a transformation that you provide. That's a product, right? That you produce. That's the solution to their problem. And then the process of implementing that solution, right? You can have the best solution in the world, but if nobody knows how to implement it, or if it's hard to get access to it, well, we're going to have problems. So what's the process? How is it implemented? And then lastly, the last piece of your purpose is the promise of everything that you're doing. Like, why are you doing it? What is the final transformation? What is it that you're promising to those people that you serve? So when we think about purpose and we want to connect it to our business, this is how we want to think about it. Leading from our passion into our powers, into the people that we serve, the problems that we solve, the products that we create to solve those problems, the processes by which we implement those solutions, and the promises that we make to our market. When we have absolute clarity on each of these components, my goodness, I'm telling you, your marketing, your whole reality will change. Like, you're going to start connecting and resonating with people in the market, and it's going to be crazy. Trust me, we've seen it time and time again. Yeah. So let's sort of anchor ourselves in this activity because we're about to jump in. And we're going to break the cycle, right? We're not going to be stuck in the 86% of people that are making less than $100,000. We're going to break that, right? We're all going to build $1 million businesses. And we're going to do that by building the foundation of our business on purpose and ensuring that our business is grounded in clarity so that this translates to every aspect of what we do, right? Again, when you start scaling confusion, that creeps into everything. So we're going to start with clarity, okay? All right, so let's go to the next slide. So we're about to jump in, okay? I'm going to actually pull up a document for you guys that everybody can use. It's going to be a Google Doc. And this Google Doc is going to have all of the exercises in it. So give me 1 second to pull that up for you guys. And I'm going to drop it in the chat, okay? So you can use that Google Doc to answer questions. What you're going to have to do when you're in the Google Doc is you're just going to need to make a copy of it, okay? So it's going to be view only. And also, I think somebody's microphone is muted. Let me see if I can mute them for you guys. Let's see. Mute. There we go. I think we got it. That happens sometimes. Okay, so I just shared, let's see, to everyone, the Google Doc. So you can check the chat and click the Google Doc. Make sure that when you go in, you hit File and then make a copy so that you can make a copy, okay? And then you can type in it and keep notes, okay? So let's go on to the actual activity. So now we are getting started, guys. So we're going to do this as a group. So the first question that I have for you guys with all of this context is, what do you do? What do you love to do that feels effortless and rewarding? What is something that you love to do that feels effortless and rewarding? It can be multiple things. And I want you guys to think about this in the context of your business, but it might also be something that you do in your personal life that connects to your business. And some examples of that are helping others clarify their purpose and live fulfilling lives, helping people advance in their careers, designing beautiful home art pieces. I see Ella sharing, she loves empowering others. Ellen, I love empowering others. Maybe you like to craft story-driven documentary videos, or you love artificial intelligence. Like, what's something that you're passionate about? I want you guys to take 45 seconds and just answer that question. And feel free, I want to see some answers in the chat. What do you love to do? Ooh, helping people escape loops that keep them stuck and find deeper fulfillment in life. Beautiful. Helping others. Yes. Excellent. Let's see a couple more. Ooh, systematize the lead conversion process. Donald. Yes. Excellent. A writer, impactful writing. Beautiful. So these are really, really excellent responses. Really excellent. I love educating and empowering business owners of the proper business practices and connect them with opportunities for growth and success. Yes. Excellent. So everybody, like, with that in mind, right? We know our passion. We have that in mind. Now let's think about, what are you uniquely great at that can bring value into the lives of others? That may be your passion, the thing you're passionate about, but you may also have skills in other areas. Like, one thing I'm passionate about is drawing, but one thing I'm great at is web development and design. So I can use that skill set in drawing and translate that into design. So here's some examples. Helping others unlock their potential and systematize it. That's me, right? Someone else might be crafting unique animated commercials for startups, or writing winning grants for early stage nonprofits, turning ideas into marketable stories. What's your superpower? Take 30 seconds, 45 seconds to answer that. We don't want to overthink things here. Ooh, I see someone's passionate about music, but great at using data to like, see how there's something there, Donald? There's something there that you could play with. Like, music is a language. Storytelling is all about language. How can you help people create their online song? How do you help people resonate? There's something that you can play with. Designing a unique wedding ceremony that fits the couple. Ooh, I like that. I really like that. Destination quality weddings in your home. Wow, I like that. Developing unique strategies for businesses and connecting people. Ooh, recording audio messages to help their business shine. So Michael, he's a voiceover artist. Love it. Data storytelling that helps businesses measure and communicate their social impact. Excellent. Good. Now we want to dive even deeper. We want to take this to the next level, because I love this. I'm like really, really energized right now because of what I'm seeing from you guys. Now I want you guys to think about this. How do I translate those two things into a 2-word brand? Like, what 2 words best describe who you are and what you do in business? 2. This is where it gets hard. I'm going to give you a minute for this. But here's some examples. Growth executive, brand scientist, transformationalist coach, creative landscaper, financial shepherd, executive therapist. Some of these are from our clients. Money doctor, change maker. Yes. I think for Karen, it might be data storyteller. Ooh, mind transformation coach. Yes, data. Yeah, exactly, Karen. That's what you are. That's what you are. So yeah, take a minute. Give you guys some reflection time. Ooh, I guess somebody is a brand scientist. Okay. I see Jim over there working. He's thinking. Now, usually for folks, we'll have a whole list of different words you can use, but I want to see what you guys come up with. Go crazy with it. I know, Tawanda, it's hard, but this is the key. We have to get clear, right? And one way of clarity, of gaining clarity, is by sizing things down. Sometimes you have to scale down to the most atomic, granular point to scale back up again. Yep. Yes. Yes. Business savior. Ooh. Yeah. Yeah. There we go. All right, I want to see some more. I want to see some more two-word brands. Any more two-word brands? I like these. Business savior. That's pretty deep. That's pretty deep. Ooh, voice solutionary. I've never heard that before. Goosebumps. I like it. Awesome, guys. You guys are really on it. Okay, so next piece is, can you clearly describe who you serve? I'll give you some examples. Growth-minded small business owners and solopreneurs. That's who I serve. Another company out there called Chief, high potential women who are C-suite executives. One of our clients, mission-driven social impact organizations. Another client, director of placemaking organizations. Like, who do you serve? And I want you to get as specific as possible. Like, I want you to identify the person. And if it is an organization, like, really specifically, what kind of organization? What size? Beautiful. And what do those mission-driven social impact organizations need, Karen? Start thinking about that, because we're coming up on that. Ooh, service business owners who think outside the box, challenge norms, and strive for excellence. So innovative people. Yes. Do you know who you serve? 15 seconds. Okay. Ooh, people who need shelter for their personal belongings, vehicles, animals, or lifestyle. Ooh. Growth-oriented business professionals. Yes. Anyone who owns a business, church, corporation, small companies, government agencies, authors, anyone who has a need for a voice. Now that's where I think it's not the first things, Michael. It's actually anyone who has a need for a voice. I think that's where you're actually getting into, because the other ones, it's like a lot of different industries and people. It's like everybody. But I think when you say anyone who has a need for a voice, there's something kind of ninja about that I want you to keep playing with. Something ninja about that. It's broad, but it still feels intimate. People who employ people with barriers to employment. Excellent. So now, as we're thinking about that, right, who we serve, can you clearly define a profound problem in the marketplace that the people you serve are seeking solutions for? And connect that to your business. What problem are you solving? But you need to really define it. Like, you can't say, oh, I'm helping people make money. Well, what? How? Donald would say, I'm helping businesses build funnels that nurture customers and educate them on the value of their services so they can scale more efficiently. Right? The underserved, making impossible dreams possible, helping them have home ownership. There we go. Those are the people that he serves. Yeah, we locked in, Donald. We tapped in. Not being capable of securing what you require in a way which helps you increase your savings. So this is really like, is it budget planning? Is it, what is it? Like, what are you helping people do? Are you helping them manage their finances in what way? Is it behavioral science? Is there a personal transformation that's taking place, Stephanie? Yes, Tawanda, I'm providing a clear and effective path to the pinnacle of business. Writing and producing a clear message that the market clearly understands that what their business does and who it serves. There we go. Yes. Yep. Solopreneurs boost their physical, mental, and emotional well-being so they can focus with clarity on their businesses. Oh, I really like that one, Sherry. I like that one. So you're kind of helping entrepreneurs get right on the energy side of things, on the spiritual side of things. Helping families to slow the progression of early onset Alzheimer's without medications. Now, that is powerful. That is powerful, Diane. Right? So here's our small businesses don't have the right strategy, story, and systems in place to grow. That's what we do, right? We saw that as a problem, right? They don't have the right strategy because they don't know where to start, and they don't really know what a strategy is. They don't have the right story because they don't know how to talk about who they are and what they do well in a way that's is professional level copy and storytelling. And then they don't have infrastructure, business infrastructure, and systems. We have a client who works with nonprofits. They don't have accounting systems in place. Or what if they're spending years in therapy, but they're not getting enough results, right? So we've got the problem in mind. Now, how about we think about the solution? And we're going to call that our product. Whether you're a service provider or a product provider, we're talking about product. What is the transformation that you produce? What is the solution to the problem? And do you have that solution? And can you solve it in a unique and compelling way? Now, this is where there's a little bit of challenge here, because it's not just about having the solution. You need to be able to articulate why the solution is better than others. So here's some examples. Growth Loop OS, our tool, business growth system, right? So ours is unique because we have a total end-to-end system that business owners can integrate into their business and have a proven pathway to success using the software. What if you're a therapist who has holistic therapy packages that are personalized, or an accounting system setup right? Maybe you have online courses that are delivered in a unique way, or an IT modernization framework, or marketing operating systems. I see a couple of people in here. That's what it sounds like you guys are producing. Marketing operating systems. So what are you bringing to market? And how is it unique? This one's hard. Ooh, a 6-week holistic systems approach, or 8-week. Wide range of services such as brand development, business credit building, immediate funding, manufacturing, etc. Above average commitment to helping you achieve your goals and take your business development to the next level. Ooh. Now, I want you, Tawanda, to think even deeper about this. Like, what is it that you offer? What is your model? If this was a car, what are its features? Can you reproduce this as a product? This is where we start taking things to the next level. Is it that you help people build their brand so that they can get funding? You have a brand to funding process? Like, what is it? So I want you guys to think, just think for a little bit. There we go. Affordable structures to provide security. There we go. There we go. Lead connection operate. There we go. Automate the lead response follow up. Yes, there we go. Yep. Education that helps them understand the rules of the money game. Ooh. So they can make better financial decisions and become financially independent. Beautiful, Ellen. That is fire. All these are fire. All these are fire. Yeah, maybe it is a roadmap to funding that involves all of those things. Like, what is your model? That's what makes a product innovative. What is your innovation? What is your model? Personalized mental, emotional, physical, spiritual lifestyle plan based on 30 years of coaching on the ground on 5 continents. So there's something global that you're bringing to the table, Sherry. There's something fully integrated. You're drawing from thousands of years of expertise, ancient practices across the globe. There's something there too, something global. Excellent. Okay. So now think about that even deeper, right? Now we're kind of getting to the core of what a product is supposed to do. Because it's not just, oh, I provide like business development services. No, there's something beyond. There's a process of implementation for the transformation to take place. That's what makes the product great, right? The product is really just an input. The process is the way that product or that input is activated. So that's why I wanted you guys to start thinking a little bit about what's innovative about what I do, how the product works. So think even deeper about your process. Like, is it coaching calls and business development software? Is it digital downloads with like really detailed instructions? Is it membership platforms? Is it an event planning framework? A design roadmap? Like, what is it that you do? Like, what is the process of implementation? You don't have to get too deep, but yeah, like, what is it? Okay. So let's go on to the next one. Lastly, what's the promise? What is the promise? You can take each of these components that you just worked on and literally like flesh out marketing copy based on that. Like, what are you promising to your market? What is the end result or the transformation that your customers are paying for that's grounded in the problem that they're trying to solve? They're trying to solve a problem. What are they going to have after they get access to your service or your product? What is their life going to look like? Can you distill that into a sentence, into a couple of words? There's some examples. A profitable and fulfilling business. A custom modern accounting system. A beautiful retail space. A better looking body. A happy and fulfilled relationship. Increase inbound lead conversion without spending on ads. Boom. Let's see if we got more. That's excellent, Donald. Caregivers without overwhelm and overburdened, and know your loved one's soul always loves you. Okay, I see where you're trying to go. So you're saying that you're helping people who are caregivers build stronger relationships and connections to one another. And I think that you were dealing with people who have Alzheimer's, right, Diane? So it's like helping shepherd people through that process. It's a combination of grief and hope and endurance.
Yeah, it's helping the families to remember that our loved one has a soul and to still love them no matter how difficult and overwhelmed and overburdened they are. They forget that loved one still loves you inside. It's the disease, not the person.
Wow. That's powerful.
So could you help me on how to put that all together?
Yes. And we're gonna open up Q&A too. We're gonna open up Q&A. Okay. But I think even just from what I'm hearing off the top, it sounds like what you're really teaching is how that connection, even though it's almost like a Wi-Fi connection, right? Even though that connection might not be as clear, right? It might not be as crystal clear. It's still there. And you're always going to have that bond in that relationship. That bond in that relationship exists across time and space. And you're teaching people how to lean into that and have that unconditional connection.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And they get lost with so much around them, and the pressure of caregiving and eating and dressing and avoid aggression. So I help them with those tools that are evidence-based.
I like that a lot. It sounds like you're also helping them not only cope with the situation, but become champions within it. It's a special opportunity for them to reconnect with that loved one and the reason why they're doing it in the first place.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And keep them as home as long as possible.
Yeah. Ooh, now that's interesting. Because I think that, and the reason I say that is because I have family that struggle with this, and there's always tension there. Like, do we keep them home or not? And I think there's something powerful about helping people maintain and keep their family together.
Right. Uh-huh. Yeah. Right. And to get them to start helping them and knowing the tips at early onset Alzheimer's, because that's the area where you can easily change behaviors.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So that's my story.
Thank you, Diane.
Uh-huh. You're
All
welcome.
right. And we're gonna move on to the very last part of the exercise real quick, y'all. And this is where I want you guys to craft your profitable purpose statement. So this is where we're going to take all the work that we just did, and we're going to try to distill it into one sentence, a sentence that is rich with clarity. And the first draft, it might need to be some work that's done there, but we want to get started. Okay. So here's how it works. I am a 2-word brand, passionate about helping people, the people you serve, who have a problem, achieve the promise using the product in the process. Okay. Here's what this looks like in practice. And this is mine, right? I am a growth executive, passionate about helping solopreneurs and small business owners who feel stuck, right? That's the problem. I distilled the problem into that. Unlock scalable business growth, right? That's the promise. Unlock scalable business growth with my product, Growth Loop OS, and my process, executive coaching. So I'm going to read that again one more time. I'm a growth executive, passionate about helping solopreneurs and small business owners who feel stuck unlock scalable business growth with Growth Loop OS and executive coaching. Put a 1 in the chat if that sounds clear to you. Put a 2 in the chat if it doesn't, which is if it doesn't sound clear, I'm going to go back and work on it and go right through this one more time. But I took this through this very process, and this is what I landed on. See, a lot of 1s. I'm happy to see a 2 if you feel it's a 2, because it's gonna push me to be better. Okay. But I want you guys to think about, can I craft something that's a 1, right? Can I craft that? So I want you guys to spend just 2 minutes on that. We're going to open it up for Q&A because I know we're a little over time and everything. Yes, Growth Loop OS is our software. Saeed, it's our software, Growth Loop operating system. It's a framework that we use to help folks build businesses and stimulate innovation through research best practices. So take a couple of minutes and work on this. We're going to get right into the Q&A. Ooh, okay. I see a couple coming in. I'm really getting excited here. I already see a couple coming in. I cannot wait to read these. But I'm going to give everybody a little bit more time. Put a 1 in the chat if you need a little more time. Put a 2 in the chat if you feel good about where you're at. I see a 2. We'll take a little bit more time. Thirty more seconds. And I'm going to call on a couple of folks to share, and then we're going to jump right into Q&A. We can stay on a little later for those who want to stay on. And then I know if you guys got stuff to do, it's okay. But I'll also share some things that we've got for you guys at the end. And that's okay. Yeah, you're going to have to tweak this. This is the first step. We typically spend at least 2 weeks of deep work with our clients crafting and honing this language until it's perfect. Okay. Well, first off, want to congratulate you guys because you stuck through the exercise and my crazy stories, and you're all landing on something that I think is like really exciting and really, really transformational. And that is clarity of purpose behind your business, who you are, why you do what you do, and why people need to know about you, because you deserve to be known. You deserve to be heard, and you deserve to be seen. And so we're about to share these with each other, but I just want you guys to know that this is really what you build around. When you think about your business and everything that goes into a business, the soul of your business is your purpose. It's that statement. That is your North Star in your shining light. So hold on to it. Hold on to it dearly. So I would love to hear a couple of these. Karen, I would like for you to unmute yourself and share if you feel comfortable.
Hi, Christian.
Hi.
I'm home in my at-home clothes.
Okay. You can be off camera, on camera.
We eating dinner. Well, I am a data storyteller, and I help mission-driven founders and CEOs share their stories of impact, measure, and then share their stories of impact so that they can attract the people, investors and grantors and team members who are just as passionate as they are, so they can grow and scale that impact.
I love that. That is powerful. So let's go through the framework, right? So you're a data storyteller. We got your 2-word brand, passionate about helping the people, right? Mission-driven founders and CEOs, so clear. Share their stories of impact so they can attract more committed investors. So that's the solution that you're providing, right? Rockstar team members, right? So they can attract more committed investors, strong foundation partners, rockstar team members, and passionate volunteers. So she really sort of blended a lot of things together, which I actually think yours came out really strong. I think one thing that I might want to see in this sentence is the process, which I think you got to it when you said measure, right? Your framework, your process, is it measurement and then translating that into a story? What would you say your process is, Karen?
Well, it is, if they're not measuring, help them understand what they need to measure. Excuse me, what will be meaningful to those groups, because they're all about, making a change. But how do you know? How do you quantify or qualify the change that you're making? So you're either trying to tell a great story that already exists, or you're trying to create a roadmap for your organization so that you can be more impactful.
Beautiful.
Makes sense?
It makes perfect sense. And I think, yes, I would give your purpose statement a 1. The main thing I want to see you try to do in your next tweak is add something about that measurement in there. Just add a little bit about that process in there. And I think to what Karen's creating, this is for all of you guys, right? It doesn't even have to be in this sequence. These are the atomic elements of a purpose statement. So they can be tweaked as long as it is clear and compelling and effective and total. That's what we're looking for. Excellent job, Karen. Excellent job. You get a 1. All right. Who else wants to share their purpose statement? I want to hear one more before we open it up.
I will.
Thank you.
I should have added a few things to mine. I'm actually a radio marketing consultant as well. I've been in radio business for 44 years as an on-air personality and in marketing. So I've tied this all kind of together. I just left radio to pursue the voice acting narrating thing. So I'm a voice actor, narrator, writer, producer, marketing consultant, passionate about helping people who have marketing problems achieve using my writing, voice, and audio production skills.
Ooh, yes, you're getting, yes, that is very close to a 1. So the question is, what are they achieving, right? I think I did really clarifying what are they achieving what? But I think you got the product and the process, the 2-word brand. I think at the beginning, I do hear a lot of descriptor words at the beginning because you're a multi-potentialite. I don't know if you've heard that term before, but a multi-potentialite is somebody who is not only passionate about multiple areas, but gifted in multiple areas. So we always have the most challenged, like honing in on who we are. I think there's something about you being a voice-driven marketing consultant or a voice-first marketer, right? There's something there around voice that I think you can really integrate here. So I want you to think a little bit about that and then think a little bit about that promise, but you are darn near close to 1.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, who thinks that this was a helpful exercise? That's I'm gonna ask my question first. Put a 1 in the chat if you think this was a helpful exercise. Yay. I'm so glad that this was helpful to you guys. So what I want to do is open up time for questions, and it can be about anything related to your business, anything related to your purpose statement, anything. You know, what we can do at this organization is pretty much point you in the right direction for almost any question that you have. And if we don't have the answer, we can figure it out for you. So this is an opportunity for you guys to connect with us, to network, to ask questions. If you want to learn more about us, whatever it is, but we want to use this time to help you. Okay. So if you have a question, I would like for you to put it in the chat. Put it in the chat if you have a question, and I'll get right to answering them. But thank you guys for participating in that activity. So questions, hit me with the questions.
Thank you, because it wasn't until tonight that I left radio on Friday.
Yeah.
I left my radio job, and I did not connect these two together until tonight. So I started thinking about what are those services that I can offer, not just the business clients, but churches, organizations, narration authors, everybody.
Yes.
And all those marketing years and all those skills back in the radio days, I can actually bring a radio marketing plan to someone and say, what you're saying in the market's so important because people judge you within 5 seconds.
Wow. That's exactly it. That might be your punchline. That sounds like your punchline, Michael. People judge you in the first 5 seconds of hearing you. Yeah. Ooh. Not seeing you, hearing you. So now you're talking about voice brand. Ooh, Michael, this is what we do.
Voice solutionary.
This is what we do. That's what it is. The voice solutionary. I love it. Let me get to some of these questions for you guys. Okay.
I was hoping I could put some context on my question, Christine.
Yes.
So in my space, there's a lot of people who are like talking about AI, lead generation, lead conversion. So there's a lot of fragmentation and confusion.
Yes.
And so it's hard when you're trying to connect with a service business owner who is bombarded with all of these things and trying to write that statement and kind of hone in on how do you create this unique, rather than trying to be broad,
yes,
create this unique space where you can actually just punch through and forget about that broader space.
Yes.
Just that unique space.
This question is so important for everybody. Like everybody should listen to this answer because differentiation is, in my opinion, like the single most important thing you can do before you start marketing. because when you're not differentiated, you end up becoming a commodity, which is what you're talking about, right? You're a lookalike in a space filled with other players that are doing what you're doing in a similar way, or they sound very similar to you. So the consumer, because the consumer is not you and they can't really fully see what's behind the veil of what you do, all they're going to do is compare you to other people. So if their prices are cheaper, they're going to go work with them if they perceive the value the same. So what we have to figure out how to do is stand out in the marketplace, but then take that a step further and stand out from the standouts. That's really the hard part. Now, how do we do this? The first step that you need to take was this, but the next step is customer discovery and competitor research. So what you need to do is you need to have 10 conversations with ideal customers and come with a litany of questions that you've really thought about and really start to drill down into the psychology of who they are. Like, what are their secret desires? What are they lying to themselves about? What are they clear on? What are they not clear on? What are the myths that they believe? Like, you need to know this person like the back of your hand. So that's the first thing that I would do based off what you just did, right? Like, you set the foundation to now do good research, right? The next thing after you do the customer discovery is competitive analysis, right? So typically we take people through like a comprehensive process where you're literally creating a matrix where you're looking at all of your direct competitors and indirect competitors and looking exactly how they talk about what they do. And you want to start to map out from there, like, what are the differences between them? Because you're going to start to see it. Your customer won't see it because they're not doing the research. To them, it's all one big mass of words, right? But you're going to start to see some of the nuances. But through that competitor research and the customer discovery, you're going to be able to then identify, well, what are my attributes of differentiation? What do I do differently than these individuals? Am I actually a direct competitor to this person, or am I a complementary competitor to this person, right? Could I actually partner with this person? If I position myself this way, you start to see little nuances about who you are. So I would say start with the research, because that's going to give you data to start thinking about these things. Then you want to identify, like, who's doing this the best, like, through that. Who's doing this the best? Who are the top 2, 3, 4 players? And then why are they the best? There's a reason. They're differentiated more than likely. If they don't have a monopoly in the marketplace, they're differentiated. So you need to figure out what they did. And then you need to figure out your analog to that. It's not going to be the same thing, but you need to figure out your analog, right? I'll give you an example. Like, for me, when I came into the space doing business consulting, right, I was just consulting with my mind, just through coaching conversations. But then I saw there's not a tool out there that fully streamlines the entire process of business development and innovation, like from end to end, and then plugs into the business seamlessly and allows the entrepreneur to get outsized results quicker, but with like way better quality than anything else out there, right? There was a lag time from idea to launch that I wanted to also close, right? So think about, like, your model when you've done this research and what is unique about your model. In the same way that Michael, he approaches brand through voice, how do you approach AI and business development, right? That's what's going to scale. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, that was good. Thank you.
Yep. Let's see. What other questions do we have? Okay, I just finished. Excellent. I see some more answers. Okay, question. Talking about differentiation, how to include decades of work in many countries, various cultures, industries into marketing a coaching business. I think that there's always going to be a section in any piece of marketing content that you put out where you need to justify why you need to qualify or justify why you're the right option. And it's then where you would want to make those statements, right? Where you would want to draw on the fact that you have decades of work globally. And you need to understand your market too, Sherry. Like, is your market looking for people with global experience? Like, do you know who those people are? Do you know how those people speak and think? And then you want to align yourself to that. But I think there's definitely a market of people who are looking for someone who has global insights and a deep, deep experience. You can say that directly. And also in your VSL, which is your video sales letter, you're going to want to talk a little bit about your experience. And you want to leverage that experience to pretty much position yourself as the person who's been doing it the longest. But one thing you want to always make sure too, Cherie, that you don't forget is that even though you have decades of experience, you still want to communicate that you're innovative and that you're modern. Unless your marketplace doesn't want that. Okay.
Oh, thank you so much, Christian.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we'd love to talk more about it too. And then Tawanda, absolutely. We'll connect with you when we get a chance. Okay. And then let's see if there are any more questions. Any more questions before we get to the final slide? I'll take one more question. No worries, Donald. Well, how about this? I'll share with you guys real quick, since folks are having to leave, that we're about to share a link with you guys, a Typeform link. And all we want you to do with the Typeform link is just submit some information. It's like, I think 2 or 3 questions or something like that. And your purpose statement. Like, it's very, very simple. And what we're going to do is, out of that, we're going to select somebody who is going to get a free Growth Loop OS, and we're going to actually take them through the Growth Loop OS through free growth coaching. And so this would be a huge opportunity for anyone that wants to like really dive into that purpose statement and take it to the next level. What's beautiful about the Growth Loop OS is that it really is a business growth system. It's an operating system you can easily install into your business, and it takes you through a series of business innovation activities that brings together a really clarified, positioned product to the marketplace. And then what we do with our clients is we actually will help them create the website, the funnel, the booking system, the brand, everything that goes into that business, so that they can go to market and have a fully running machine with the CRM and everything beautifully built out, extremely well branded. So they can go and make and create traction in the marketplace. So we want to offer that to one person, but you gotta make sure that you fill out the Typeform. Okay. So actually, yes, there's 15 questions. Actually, Brian just gave me some intel. There's 15 questions, but you only have to answer 2. Okay. But the more that you answer, yes, this is what it is, because there's some smart people on our team who they're way more clever than I am. So you only have to answer 2. But the more answers that you choose, the higher the chances are of being chosen. And it's going to be open for 48 hours. So I guess I recommend answering all 15 questions, okay? So the Typeform is in the chat. All right. Well, I think that we are getting close to bedtime. Does anybody have any questions? Make sure you grab the link. And we're looking forward to keeping in contact with you guys after this. Thank you guys so much for coming. Appreciate all of you.